Uniform, tender, perfect alternating layers of fat and dough, crispy pan-fried exterior, bursting at the seams with scallion flavor. This is the Ultra-Flaky Scallion Pancake. Scallion pancakes are a staple in Chinese restaurants today. They're usually an appetizer. You can order them and they show up like this. They're pan-fried, sometimes deep-fried. They're crispy, tender. They're amazing. They're delicious. If I had only one gripe, it's that sometimes the layers are a bit crushed and sometimes it's a little bit greasy. So I wanted to make those layers ideal, kind of picture perfect. So to get this done, we're gonna use 3 different techniques. First, we're using a hot water dough that gives us a pliable, tender dough. We're also using a pasta roller to get consistent sheets of dough. Finally, instead of just oil, we're using a hot oil flour paste. It's gonna get us these perfect layers of fat and dough. Let's get to making these. Step 1 of making our scallion pancakes is making the dough. Typically, Chinese flours are milled quite finely and they have a relatively high gluten potential, so the doughs have a nice supple texture. To approximate that texture and handling, we're using a blend of flours here. When I'm whisking, I'm just letting the bowl do the work. And now we need to hydrate our flour. Hot water doughs are super common in Chinese cooking. It's just a dough in which a portion of the flour has been scalded with boiling water. Now, scalding degrades some of the gluten. It gelatinizes some of the starches. Gelatinization is really great because it helps a dough retain more moisture when cooked. So it produces a really nice, tender, chewy result. And it prevents that staling that we see from breads and certain cooked pastries. It just extends the shelf life, essentially. So we're just gonna start off by boiling some water. I should have boiled it before. All right, so measure out about a cup's worth of boiling water. This is really just a partial gelatinization. We're not using enough heat and enough moisture to gelatinize all the flour in this bowl, but we're getting some of it, and that's the goal here. I'm just gonna take a wooden spatula and distribute all of that gelatinized flour. And I'm looking for more of like a pebbly texture. This is clearly not enough water to form a full dough. In order to do that, we're gonna add back cold or room temperature water. This is just gonna hydrate the rest of the flour and it stopped the gelatinization. And now we come in with our dominant hand. I'm a lefty. I'm gonna brace the bowl with my right hand and I'm just gonna get to work. So I'm kneading in the bowl, trying to pick up these dry bits at the bottom. And I'm looking to knead this in the bowl to a point where all of the flour is hydrated and it's cleaning the sides of the bowl. So just kneading. And if you have any bits like that, I like to just pick them up like this. It's kind of like one of those stickies, like when you're cleaning your phone, like for those screen protector, they give you a strip of tape and then you just like dab. Also, if you like making a mess, feel free to make a mess, that's cool. For kneading, you basically want to fold the dough over and push. You rotate 90, fold the dough toward you and push, and then you just kind of repeat. So this is at a pretty good point. I'm just gonna let this rest. It's kind of got this texture that is rough on the edges, but give it, say, 15 minutes of a rest. The gluten will have developed a little bit more. We can give it a knead and it'll just come together and be a smooth ball. I like to just cover it with the bowl I was using and then we'll come back. So it's been resting for about 15 minutes and just after a few kneads, you get a nice smooth ball. We're gonna let this rest again for at least 45 minutes and up to 2 hours. And that resting time is really crucial for allowing the gluten to relax so that we can shape it easily. Also allows the gluten to develop further, but that's a good thing because that means a little more texture in our pancake. It is helpful to coat this in a layer of oil. The oil will just prevent the outside from really drying out. I can just cover it or wrap this in plastic wrap and come back to it later. Scallion pancakes feature alternating layers of dough and fat. That is known as lamination. Traditionally with scallion pancakes, you are rolling out dough, brushing it with a layer of oil, sprinkling over some scallions, and then continuing on. The problem with using pure oil is that when you go to roll it out, the oil tends to like seep out. So here we've opted for using a little bit of flour to thicken this oil mixture. And that's a little easier to spread out onto the dough without it running all over the table. And then when we go to layer, it's pretty seamless. We're gonna start with some flour, a good amount of salt, white pepper, and a little bit of Sichuan peppercorn. Finally, I have some scallion whites. I want to coat all of these scallions in flour. Instead of adding like room temperature oil and just stirring it together, we're gonna pour hot, ripping hot oil over these scallions. So this has bloomed, the scallions and the bubbling has subsided. I'm just gonna give this a little stir. To finish this out, we're gonna add a little bit of toasted sesame oil. This is all nice and mixed. We're gonna let it cool down. We'll set it off to the side. And by that time, when we get to rolling and layering, this will be ready to work with. It'll be cool enough. Let's get to dividing and rolling our dough. We need a scale. We have some bench flour, a bench scraper, some damp towels. I'm gonna start by weighing out how much dough I have. It's 978, and we're looking for 8 portions of dough. So quick math. Anybody? 122.25. Let's call it 122. So you're just gonna go ahead and divide. So that's at 130. There you go, 122. And so you'll end up with a portion like that. I just tuck in the ends, set it aside, and we're gonna cover it with some damp towels. You could also use plastic wrap and continue on. And just to finish this off, we're gonna cover with a damp towel so nothing dries out. Let's get to rolling out our sheets. What we need for this is some bench flour, we got our pasta roller, we've got our scallion paste, and some scallions. A rolling pin, a ruler, and a knife. So let's go. A little bit of bench flour. I'm just gonna roll this out to roughly 5 by 6. So I'm trying to keep this as square as possible. We are almost there. And I'm just aiming for 6 inches. We're trying to match the width of the rollers here. Give a little bit of flour. We're at setting 0 on the pasta roller. Always start from 0 and then work your way up. I'm holding my dough like this. And then I switch. I'm just gonna give that one more feed. Now, because I want relatively square piece of dough, I like to actually roll out the corners in this initial phase. Move on to the one setting. Generally going twice through each setting, just first to roll it out and then the second time to reinforce that thinness. Step 2. If at any point I feel like the dough is catching on the rollers, just flour the dough a little more. And again, trying to pull these corners to make a square shape. Step 3. So these first 3 steps of the pasta roller are pretty easy to work through, but they will dictate the final shape, so that's why I'm being careful to keep it as square as possible. So I'm at step 4. I'm just letting it drape, not pulling the dough at all, just letting the rollers do the work. Step 5. And you'll notice as I move along through these thinner settings, I'm actually going in with a little more flour, because when it gets this thin, it tends to stick to the sides of the rollers a little bit more, which isn't the end of the world, but we're looking for like a really square, even sheet. So we're gonna stop at step 6, but we're gonna give it at least a few rolls at this step setting. This is roughly 1 millimeter thick. Even though this is a very soft and pliable dough, it's delicate. To get this to the length that we want, I'm gonna keep rolling it through this setting. So that was twice through the 6th setting. This has gotta be a little bit more than 30 inches because at the end of the day, we're gonna trim the ends. So anything between 35 to 40 inches will do you fine. Let's see where we're at, 32-ish. I'm gonna keep going. No resistance on the dough. Being very, very careful to drape it. And we are at 37. I'm pretty happy with that. I'm just gonna leave this first sheet up here. So I'm gonna keep rolling out this second sheet and continue on laminating. Okay, so we have our 2 sheets of dough rolled out. We need to trim these down. So I'm going to mark at 30 and just trim. We're gonna do this for the other sheet, and I'm gonna start brushing. We are using 2 sheets to make 1 pancake, and so we're gonna be folding and then layering over the second sheet. So we just need a small border here. As you can see, this has a little more substance to it, so I can lay on a thicker layer. I like this combination of like bloomed scallion flavor with the fresher scallion, so you get 2 different vibes going on. These layers are all loaded up. Now we just gotta fold it and put it together. So I'm starting from the right side, and I'm gonna pick it up, and I'm just gonna be gentle and fold it over. It should be roughly 6 inches. I'm gonna continue on, just folding and drape it over. And that's the first sheet folded. I'm gonna take this packet, lay it flush with the left edge of this bottom sheet, and continue folding. I'm just giving a gentle pat. At the end of the day, you might end up with roughly 6.5, but that's because, you know, this is chunkier now. If we wanna clean this up, totally optional, take a sharp knife, just trim. And this is done. We're gonna wrap this in plastic wrap, and I will continue rolling and folding the rest of these dough portions to get 4 total pancakes. So our pancakes are rolled. If we're going for that iconic, tender, chewy texture that is a hallmark of good scallion pancakes, then a rest is essential. So these are gonna go in the fridge overnight. We're gonna take them out and we're gonna freeze them to let them firm up for about 30 minutes before cooking. Scallion pancakes, they're great in their own right, but often they're served with a dipping sauce. I'm rolling with a soy sauce based dipping sauce. This is very similar to our all-purpose dipping sauce for dumplings, just some minor tweaks here and there. We got dark soy sauce, water, Chinese black vinegar, some sugar, toasted sesame oil, some Sichuan chili flake. This is optional. And finally, grated ginger. We're just gonna give this a brief mix. We can taste it. It's balanced, it's sweet, salty, a little bit spicy, a little hit of ginger at the end. Really good. That is your finished dipping sauce. We're in the home stretch. Our pancakes are in the freezer. Here's what you need. You need a pan heated to medium. We will need a lid, a landing spot, pancake turner, and finally, neutral oil. So I'm gonna grab a pancake from the freezer. We're gonna pour in a little bit of oil, place this away. Then we're gonna cover it immediately. This is gonna cook around 2 or 3 minutes. And this initial phase is to really trap steam and to cook the pancake through. And now we will check. The dough is starting to puff slightly. That's a good sign. Just give it a little flip. We're gonna recover, cook another 2 or 3 minutes. Just gonna check it. And now I will flip. Total cook time is gonna be between 8 and 12 minutes, just until I get a good level of browning here. You'll notice it kind of puffed up in the center, so there's less browning going on. That's okay, we'll address it. There was that blonde spot on the second side. I'm just gonna weigh this down. We are well browned on both sides. Transfer this to a sheet tray, let it cool down. Optionally, you could take a paper towel and blot this to get extra oil off. This increases the perception of crispiness. At this point, we will continue frying off the rest of our pancakes. Just have to add a little bit of oil each time. We've fried off all 4 of our pancakes. Let us evaluate our work. Super golden brown, even throughout. And I'll do that really cringy thing that people do with like crispy stuff. Hear that? That's crispy. The real test is we should cut into it. Check this out. I can see 10 layers and it's cooked through. It has this sort of tenderness that I can feel between my hands. Let's compare it to a traditional scallion pancake. You can still see some layers, but they're a bit squished down. This one feels a little bit denser. At this point, we have to taste them. So I'm gonna call over Nick. So we've got our Ultra-Flaky scallion pancakes.
Take that, croissants.
Let's give these a shot.
That's unreal. It's like you took a whole scallion pancake, like folded it up, but then it had like a super deep crust on both sides. Awesome texture, so moist too.
Try with the sauce, it's pretty good. I'm getting that white pepper, that bloomed scallion oil vibe, and also at the very end, just a hint of Sichuan peppercorn, just something there to be like, huh.
It's like really clean and fresh at the same time while being so delicate, crispy. That's really special. Nice job, man.
Thank you. So if you're looking for this recipe, go to ChefSteps.com. We have a ton of other cool Chinese and Chinese American classic recipes. We've got things like egg foo young, ta siu, General Tso's, orange chicken. Go check it out. Please like and subscribe on YouTube and get cooking. This is the ultimate. This is not the ultimate. This is ultra.
Subscribe to our channel and visit ChefSteps.com for more tips, recipes, guides, and tools to help you level up in the kitchen.